Holy cow. We've got a lot to unpack after a crazy series in St. Louis. The Cubs just split a 4-game series against the rival St. Louis Cardinals. The series started with an 8-2 loss for the Cubs. Not much to talk about from that game because personally, I thought that game was probably the worst game of the season for the Cubs. So I blanked a lot of it from my mind, like how they blanked Ben Brown from the team afterwards. Ben Brown, god awful. He gave up 8 runs on 4 home runs in 5 innings. With Imanaga on the way back for Thursday's series finale, it was the final nail in the coffin for Ben Brown being on the big squad. He was sent to Iowa shortly after that game. He's got a lot to work on because the stuff is there, but the consistency ain't nowhere near where it need to be. The offense struggled to convert opportunities a lot in this game as well. Most notably, Ian Happ, he grounded into an inning double play with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. If he converts that, we're talking about a different game. But he didn't, so he ain't. Tuesday, Cubs suffered a close loss, 8-7. 3-game losing streak, tied for the longest of the season. I had hoped having Jameson Taillon on the bump in this game would be a bounce back situation for the Cubs and give them the inside edge for them to win this series 3-1. But instead, he continued the rotation struggles. He gave up 8 runs on 3 home runs in just 4 innings. And now he's giving up 21 home runs on the season. That's the second most in the majors. But that wasn't a story from this game. Jameson Taillon's performance was not the story. Pete Crow Armstrong had a frustrating day. He had a defensive goof in the center field where he lost track of the outs, allowing a runner to score from second base on a flyout. Mistakes like that happen. Even from guys who are Gold Glove winners or presumably will be a Gold Glove winner at some point in their career, that I think PCA will be at all levels of baseball. You got guys that forget how many outs there were. And to be fair, it was a long inning. You could forget how many outs there were. I feel like they was out there for a whole TV show, damn near. I seen him make that catch against the wall with that laissez-faire attitude and casually throw the ball. It was kind of shocking. It was glaring, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And as you saw, Wynn scamper all the way around the home from second base. It was like it's gonna be one of those nights, and you just knew that run was gonna come back and bite the Cubs in the booty, and it did. The Cubs lost by 1, as I said earlier. Later on in that same game, with runners on the corners and 1 out, Pete Crow Armstrong made a decision on his own to bunt the ball to try to get something going. He's not a great bunter, but he tried it, and the bunt went right back to the pitcher. No one could advance. It resulted in an out, and it killed any type of rally the Cubs could have put out there. It was just not the best nights for PCA. But moving on. For the love of Ernie Banks, can we please get Dansby Swanson out of the 5th hole? He should not be batting higher than 7th. No argument for it. A guy like Nico Horner, who's your best batter on the squad in terms of batting average, should not be batting after Dansby Swanson, who's pretty much an automatic out right now, especially with runners in scoring position. uh, which was a situation he found himself in twice late in this game. At this point of the season, he's hitting 141 with runners in scoring position. That's the lowest in baseball among all qualified hitters. He needs to be better, and he knows it. But until he does, Craig, you've got to get him out of those situations. The game cannot be on the line with Dansby Swanson in the batter's box. Full stop. Coming into Wednesday, the Cubs finally got back in the win column with a dominant 8-0 shutout. Matthew Boyd was once again magnificent. He threw 6 scoring innings with just 3 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. His ERA right now is 2.65. All-star. I've said it before on here, and I'll say it again. He's been the Cubs' best pitcher all season, and he's one of the 5 best players on his squad. You think Kyle Tucker, you think Imanaga. If you take Justin stL out because he's not really playing right now, so take him out. Suzuki, PCA, name another player better. Name one. Matthew Boyd. Easily. The offense erupted early. Ian Happ jumped on the first pitch and sent it to the moon. Reese McGuire also had a 2-run shot. Kyle Tucker had a solo shot as well. The bullpen continued their strong performance, and it just got better. Porter Hodge made his return from his oblique strain, and he pitched 1 inning of 1 hit, no run baseball. I know Craig said after the game that they're not really ready to put him back in a high leverage situation. As you remember, Porter Hodge was the closer before he got hurt, but you trust him more. But you have to trust him more than some of the other guys in the pen when the time is right, even though no one's really been terrible over the last 2 months. But with him being back is a plus. The Cubs completed the series split with another shutout on Thursday, 3-0. The biggest story from this was the return of Shota Imanaga from his left hamstring injury. He picked up right where he left off. He threw 5 scoreless innings of 1 hit ball, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk on 77 pitches. He couldn't have come back any sooner because the starting rotation fell off a cliff this past week. Since the Milwaukee series, the Cubs are 3-5, with the starters giving up 15 home runs in those 8 games. Only one of the starters made it out of the 6th inning. And who was that? Matthew Boyd, and that was yesterday. Desperately needed this shot in the arm with the Imanaga return. The bullpen maintained its dominance. They gave up 0 runs in the entire series. Daniel Palencia earned a save in this game, striking out 3 straight batters after letting the first 2 guys reach base. But after, there was a heated exchange between him and, former rock star Cubs catcher Wilson Contreras. He had hit Wilson earlier in the inning with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and apparently Contreras took exception to Palencia's celebration as he closed the game out. It didn't erupt in anything. Both benches cleared anything, but nothing really happened. And after the game, both players said it was just the heat of the game and emotions were up. But it's no big deal. It's just blame it on the heat. It's hot out there. Everybody's mad because it's hot. Despite the series split, there's still concerns about the Cubs' recent performance and the shrinking NL Central lead they had. The beginning of the Milwaukee series, the Cubs had a 6.5 game lead over the Brewers. That is now down to 3 as I'm recording this. The starters have a 10.61 ERA in the last 6 games, and they're giving up home runs at an alarming rate compared to the 9 they had given up before this stretch in this month. The offense has been one-dimensional. Depending on home runs, just too much. Walk rate has fell beneath lower whacker. Since June 6th, the offense ranks 24th in runs, 25th in average, and 27th in on-base percentage. And you can go all the way back to the beginning of June when Kyle Tucker had hurt his finger and narrowed down the offense struggles to that inflection point. The Cubs are 11-11 on the month, and coming into this game on Thursday, and 11 of the games they scored 4 or fewer runs. What's the record in those games? 3-8. We don't have the pitching right now to win a 4-3 ball game. Certainly not with Colin Ray and Ben Brown in the rotation. Ben Brown, as I already mentioned, option to AAA. Following his start on Monday, Craig Counsell said the move is for his growth and to manage his workload. As you know, he's only exceeded 100 innings once in his career. And yes, it's a smart move because he's young and you still have one of team control for a little while. So it's smart to invest in his future his future development. But right now, for the fact of the matter is he's just not cutting it for the big leagues right now. When he's bad, he's really bad. Porter Hodge, he's back from his oblique strain. Cubs, and as I said, Cubs were going to ease his usage, but I do expect him to regain his role as closer sooner rather than later. Veteran reliever Michael Fulmer, he pitched Monday. He pitched 2 scoreless innings, but he was designated for assignment to make room for Imanaga, who returned on Thursday. Obviously, the Cubs need to be buyers at the trade deadline, especially in the pitching department, and possibly for another bat. They've been linked to several notable starters, including Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, Seth Lugo, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly they're both of them from the Diamondbacks, Luis Severino, Tyler Mahle, Zach Eflin, Walker Buehler. It's a who's who right now. ESPN is also linking in the third baseman Alex Bregman from the Red Sox, and Eugenio Suarez. You guys remember him? He was the one when we played the Diamondbacks. He was killing the Cubs pitching. Maybe we might need a potential offensive upgrade at the position, given Matt Shaw's struggles at the plate as of late. Reports also indicate the Cubs have shown interest in the Pirates pitcher Mitch Keller. That's not the Pirates pitcher that I want the Cubs to get, but beggars can't be choosies, right? And their closer, David Bednar. The expectation is that the Cubs will make big deals because this is a win now season. You got Kyle Tucker on a walk here. You got Jed Hoyer with a last year of his deal as well. It push the chips in. It's win now, or you're basically screwed, right? If you can't bring both of those guys back at least. Despite the recent dip, the Cubs are still in first place at the halfway point of the season. They're 48-33. The offense has been productive, not this month, but the offense has shown you that they can do some things when they're all clicking. They still rank second in runs and scoring in baseball, and the bullpen is unquestionably the strength of the squad right now, at least over the last 2 months. With Imanaga back and the potential to make moves on the horizon, the team and its fans should be optimistic about the second half of this season. The Cubs are flying to Houston to start a weekend series with those Houston Astros. I hate that team since they were in the NL Central way back when. But anyway, it's a reunion of sorts for Kyle Tucker. The Houston Astros have an identical record with the Cubs, 48-33, as they lead the AL Central. So tough series. The Astros are not pushovers. So hopefully the Cubs offense in a hitter-friendly ballpark can show up and show out. We'll be back to discuss it after the series. Go Cubs. Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.